It has been already 4 really intense days driving in Argentina. The van is really slow, we took a wrong direction by mistake, and the sun became the one in charge of our driving schedules now. We drive when it allows us to do so. But despite all the heat, detours and some oil loss, we made to Buenos Aires. Hop on for this ride because we're all set. The struggle is real, my friends. We have been toasting in the sun with no AC in the van for almost a week now. And the oil incident got us thinking that we needed to get to Buenos Aires as soon as possible. We had this feeling that we were driving, and not getting any change in the views. The Pampas are infinite. Also, after Buenos Aires, the cities will get smaller and smaller, so the best thing to do is get the car double-checked there. And that led us to a decision. We had to look for a place to stay in the shade during the day and drive mostly during the night to avoid the sun and get to Buenos Aires faster. Hey everyone, this is the future me. I'm finishing editing the video and I reminded something that happened that night, which we didn't record it. We decided that was the best thing to do, drive during the night so we could avoid the heat during the day. And also during the night we'd have less cars on the road, so it would be easier to drive with no traffic when we get closer to the big city. And we drove, I don't know, maybe 4 hours. And I realized there was a car in the back of a van. It was like driving for so long and this headlight wouldn't come out from my mirror. And that was especially weird because we're not driving super fast and there was absolutely no one on the road at that time in the night. So I was having a weird feeling about that car. And I decided to take an exit to a different city to try and get rid of this car. It kept following us, so I drove, I don't know, maybe 10 kilometers on this exit and I realized that that was a small road. I had less opportunity to find another person in there. We're heading to a smaller town. And then I just stomped on the brakes and made a U-turn real quick. And I could see on the mirror that the car was braking with me. And when I made the U-turn, the car kept going. That car was like an SUV from what I could spot. That car could easily get back to us because we were driving super slow. But I tried to speed up as the maximum I could to get to the main road. I drove another couple kilometers and we found a police barrier. And I told them about this story and if they knew if there were any gas station or somewhere safe nearby that I could stop and rest until the morning because I was definitely not driving on the night again. And they told us to just park by the curb and sleep there under their eyes on that night. And that was a big relief for us. It was not the best sleep. By the early morning, the trucks will start passing by us. It was get really busy in the morning, like early in the morning. So we parked in there around, I don't know, 3 a.m. to sleep. And at 6 a.m. it was already super busy and noisy and we had to leave. We woke up on the next day, had another full day driving. The van hits an impressive 200,000 kilometers mark. And after a few more hours driving, the scenery changed quite fast. A huge bridge sets the border between the provinces of Entre Rios and Buenos Aires. From now on, the traffic builds up as we're getting closer to the capital.
Como todo do peaje funciona acá?
¿A dónde tenés que llegar?
Chegamos agora.
¿Ahora?
Sí.
¿Cómo funcionan los peajes, me preguntás?
Sí, porque es todo automático por tag.
Sí, en realidad sí, pero todavía no.
Ah,
O sea, todavía puedes seguir pagando.
posso pagar em efetivo aqui. Ok, quanto?
325.
325. Fiquei um pouco confuso. Gracias.
felt incredible to drive all the way from São Paulo to Buenos Aires with an old van. And I could feel we were finally building some confidence in each other. Before leaving São Paulo, we had a lot of mechanical issues with the car and we were not sure about how far we could go. So crossing the remoteness of Pampas all the way from São Paulo and arriving in Buenos Aires felt really special for us. Thanks Vasita and welcome to Buenos Aires. On our first night, we slept by the waterfront of Puerto Madero. We chose this place because it had seriously dozens of reviews of parking spots on iOverlander. The neighborhood is, from what we felt, safe. There's security cameras all around, police cameras all around, and even a public park where you can find cold showers in case you run out of water in the tanks. In a huge metropolis like Buenos Aires, a place like this for RVs is gold. So with all these conveniences, it's definitely not hard to spot rigs from all sizes and countries parked here. There were so many vans parked that at one point we had 3 vans from Brazil parked next to each other. A gente fundou nossa própria colônia de motorhome brasileira. And of course, Puerto Madero is a very nice neighborhood. You can see people jogging on the sidewalk during the days, having happy hours on sunset later, and partying at night. All that perfectly framed by the beautiful river view. Me again. So on our second day, we woke up in Puerto Madero by the river and like the temperatures were like super high. I was not dealing very well with that. And at the end of the day, it all charged us its price. I started throwing up, barely could pedal my bike back to the car, doing stops every block to throw up, and Kiana ran into a pharmacy to buy me some drugs to cut the vomiting. From that point I started feeling a little better, but I still couldn't eat, I still couldn't drink water, and we decided to make a little change of plans. So we rented an Airbnb apartment so I could rest in the AC in a proper bed and have all our stuffs dragged into the apartment. It took me probably 4 days to get normal. And during these days I was like also working, editing on other projects and stuff like that. So we didn't record as much. I was not feeling 100% to do any thirsty thing. I was like literally hugged to the AC. Before leaving Buenos Aires, we still wanted to visit the city of Tigre, and remember, we need to get the car serviced here. Tigre is a popular destination and it's known for its beautiful canals, boat tours and historical attractions. It is a pretty unique place, and for being so close from Buenos Aires, it is a perfect day trip for visitors to the Argentinian capital like us. And we do recommend the boat ride. It is a super charming town and got us imagining how fun it might be to live in here. Next day, I took the van to a mechanic that some Argentinian friends recommended. I was really worried with the engine oil we found missing back in Mercedes, but it turned out that was an easy fix. I was decided to adapt something in the van, hoping it would give us an extra bump on our cruising speeds. We swapped our 5th gear. It is not like we want to perform it like a sports car, but it's super important to being able to cover bigger distance during one day of driving, especially in such a big and spread out country like Argentina. It took a full day at the shop, since the installation process of the gear was artisanal. They even had to send the gearbox out a bit to fit the new gear. It sounds crazy, I know, but it works. We tested on the roads around the mechanic shop and it felt amazing. We were super looking forward to getting back on the road, now at full speed. On the next episode, after a month on the road since we left São Paulo and absolutely no hill in sight throughout the flatness of Pampas, we finally arrived at our first mountain bike destination, Done Deal. I spent a week on this charming city exploring what the mountains there could offer, and it was pure rock and roll.
Você tá maluco?